Hey, my Married at First Sight fans, we are officially back with another week. And yeah, we had a crazy episode to start off this week. First, we have our first commitment ceremony. We had one bride that had been sitting on a big secret, and Harrison challenges the experts at this commitment ceremony. Welcome back to Romance Review TV. It's Lady T. I got another recap for you guys. Married at First Sight Australia, Season 10, Episode number 9. And without any further ado, let's talk about this ceremony. So, the first official week of this experiment have given our brides and grooms a lot to process, from falling in like to suspicions of cheating. Our couples are all in very different stages of their relationships, and guess what? It's time to air it all out. Get the experts' advice at the first commitment ceremony. So let's see how all of our couples fared in the experts' hot seat. So first, we're going to talk about Claire and Jesse. Now, they had a highly lukewarm arrival. Then we get to see Jesse spill his guts about the blow up that happened after Claire and Adam allegedly got too close on a night out. And he explained his recollection of events. And then, of course, we hear Adam chime in.
I saw red. I grabbed my key card and I went and knocked on their door. Janelle answered. I asked, "Where's Adam?" She motioned. I stepped inside and I said something along the lines of, "Who the f*** are you on the phone to?"
I was in shock, mate. And you're like, "Let me look at your phone, let me look at your phone," like you were some jealous ex-girlfriend of mine. We were on the phone to these two.
I was with Adam the whole time from the moment he got home, and he was not for 1 second on the phone to Claire.
So, Jesse, do you still think there's something going on between Claire and Adam that night?
Now I have heard from both of them, no.
And as soon as we think that the dust has settled and everything has calmed down, Lindell comes in with a piece of information that she was hoping to take to the grave. And then she also said if she said nothing, she was going to feel guilty about this forever. And then this is when Lindell drops her little bombshell.
Oh.
You gotta say it.
Just say it. Say it.
Lindell, there's something you want to say.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Lindell, you wanted to say something?
I don't think Jesse is entirely wrong in what he assumed. I think that the way he went about it, I very much disagree with. That night, we were all having fun, and I may have misheard it, and it might have been a joke, but I did hear when I picked up my things to go, Adam turned to me and he said, "Don't go. You know that if you go, I'm going to go home with Claire."
I wouldn't have said something like that. Yeah, there was a bit of flirty banter going on with all of us and things might have been said. Never in my mind was I ever going to go home with Claire. Like, that's ridiculous.
So you said something along those lines?
I could have done. I wasn't saying anything directly in terms of self and Claire.
I'm not surprised hearing what Lindell had to say. I reckon you did say that.
We then get to see Jesse applauding because obviously that validates some sort that he was correct about Claire. However, when it comes to the decision, Jesse admits that the experiment has brought out the worst in him, and with a heavy heart and bawling his eyes out for that matter, he writes leave. However, Claire, being the optimist that she claims to be, writes stay, which means that the two of them have to stay in the experiment another week to hash out their differences. Speaking of Janelle and Adam, before the experts even open their mouths, Adam offered an apology to Janelle, Jesse, and the whole group for what they had to put up with. And it seems enough for Janelle, who says, logically speaking, she has no reason not to trust Adam. As for how the couple feel about each other, Janelle says that she does genuinely like Adam, and Adam returns the compliment by saying there's a lot to like about Janelle too. And bonus points for this couple, they managed to consummate on their honeymoon, which is music to Alessandra's ears, of course. And no surprises, they both chose to stay. Next up is Tani and Ollie, looking like high school sweethearts. These two say that their relationship feels like a first date that never ended. Now, Tani's only concern is that sex might even be a little too good, which Alessandra, of course, responds, like the rest of us, is there even such a thing?
At the wedding, that first moment when you clasped eyes on each other, Ollie.
Well, Tani's like a little bit. She couldn't see me too well, but I thought she looked lovely.
She just saw tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, I thought she looked lovely. Yeah.
I just got such a great, warm, welcoming energy from Ollie, and it was just wonderful. Like even our vows were super similar. We already saw similarities in what we said and what we were looking for. It was just been really nice. I think we both felt quite a strong connection when we first met. We said it's been like a first date that never ended.
What is it, Tani? Can you put your finger on it? Why is it so great?
I think Ollie and I have really good communication, and I think that's something I haven't had in the past. So I just felt so comfortable because he won't shy away from, conversations or quite, not as emotional as me, but, he does show some emotion. I think we kind of just clicked, and it's just been, great, and just getting to know each other. It's just kind of been nice and smooth. So
how serious is it?
It is definitely serious.
The chemistry is very obvious. And I'm wondering if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
The intimacy has been great. Maybe a little too good.
Is there such a thing as too good? I don't know.
Ollie and I were intimate on the honeymoon, and then we've been having a good time, so and it's been great from my side.
Man, I'm sitting pretty.
So we'll just continue to watch as these two continue to live in their ever perfect little love bubble. So next up is Melinda and Leighton. Now, despite not having an initial connection at their wedding, Leighton is proud to report that each day is getting better and better. And even Melinda admitted that instantly she didn't have an attraction there. So she had little doubts and was looking at everything wrong with him. But she says that somewhere along the line, something switched.
Like instantly, I just didn't have that attraction there. So I had, little doubts, and I was looking at everything wrong with him. Sorry.
So what changed?
Something just switched.
So then, were you intimate? Have you been?
Yes, a few days ago we did. And we have ever since. I mean, the attraction just came,
Mm-hmm.
And it came a lot, randomly.
I'm out.
So yes, the two of them have even been intimate. Melinda says that the attraction just came, and it came a lot. And the group, they was spitting out their drinks as they learned that Leighton has a full tank. So yes, these two decided to stay, and we continue to watch the growth of these two. Okay, that leads us to Alyssa and Duncan. Yet another loved up couple take a seat on the couch to make us feel very, very happy for them. And the two of them, like a couple of giddy school kids, when Duncan admits that he likes Alyssa, and she does the same by confessing that she's falling in like with Duncan. And it's just a mere formality with the experts asking to see their decision. And then, of course, there's no shock when they both decided to stay. Which now leads us to Sandy and Dan. Now, even though Sandy had reservations about the experiment due to a lack of support of her parents, she's hopeful that they will eventually come around to the whole idea. Now, she says that there's even more chances of that happening since she's been coupled up with such an awesome individual. And Daniel was looking like, who? I think she was talking about you, Dan. And then when the experts press Sandy about her feelings for Dan, she opens up saying that I really like him, but that also scares her a lot. But Dan assures Sandy that there's no need to be scared, and that he says that he came into this experiment to develop a relationship with a teammate. I have your back, and I definitely feel like you have mine. And Sandy and Dan locked themselves into the experiment for another week by saying stay. So let's talk about Melissa and Josh. Now, Josh admitted that he and Melissa instantly connected, but were thrown off course after discovering that they had very different approaches to communicating about what? Sex. And Josh also explained that he just don't like to talk about that publicly. He raises his concerns over that whole first impressions task where Melissa went on and on over the potential size of his hammer. And of course, with this coming out, it shocks Leighton to his core. And let me tell you, Leighton, if you think that was a lot, you haven't seen nothing yet. Because Josh openly says that he really likes Melissa, but isn't convinced about her feelings for him. And he said, I want you to like me for me, not because I have a you-know-what down below. Okay, Josh, I understand. Despite their differences, they both decided that they wanted to get to know each other better and find some middle ground between their needs. So they decide to stay. And of course, we saw some of the other guests, gave them a round of applause, which we'll see how this works out between these two. Okay, cue the ominous music, please. Bronte and Harrison are up. Bronte pours her heart out to the experts, admitting that she's been crying a lot amid the couple's struggles and constant moving in and out of the apartment. But however, Harrison has a very different take on saying that it actually hasn't been that bad and that the time he spent apart from his wife has been like a holiday. But yeah, they even go into more details about his alleged ex right before they were married.
Basically, there was an accusation that Harrison had a girl on the outside
Yes.
just prior to coming into this experiment.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't given anyone really the full story of what happened while I was single coming into here, because I feel like it's not really anyone's business. Like, I haven't been in contact with anyone except very close friends and family since I've been in this experiment. I haven't reached out to any girls.
You were literally talking to a girl the day of our wedding.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you literally told me that you were.
I didn't speak to her days before coming into the wedding.
Yes, you did, because there was a photo that you sent that you were leaving. You were taking photos of your actual that you were going. I've got literal screenshots, Harrison.
Are you sure that she didn't take that photo?
Packing with you?
She was packing with you.
Yeah, she came over to my house.
Oh, she helped you pack to come to the experiment.
And I did not sleep with her.
And even with all of this, all of the facial reactions, even Melinda speaking up saying Harrison is for the bin, when it comes to the decision, she says stay. Why are you here, Bronte, if it's just that bad? Doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think it makes sense to you all either. Okay, on a calmer note, we got Lindell and Cameron. Now, even though he's never been in a relationship before, Cameron is under the impression that this relationship stuff is so-called easy. But it does bode well for the two of them and probably have something to do with the fact that he's been paired with his match, Lindell. Lindell, who is smitten, admits that she can see herself falling in love with her new husband/boyfriend, I guess. So yes, they decided to stay. Okay, finally our last couple, and we need to cue the ominous music again, Caitlin and Shannon. And right out the gate, Shannon come clean and admit that he might still be in love with his ex. And Caitlin was like, let me stop you right there. There wasn't a might to it though. It was pretty solid. And Mel chimed in to try to press Shannon about when he came to this realization that he still loved his ex. And he said it happened when he was intimate with her about a week before the experiment. And a lot of people might consider that actually worse than Harrison's admission. Now, of course, with all of that being said, relationship expert John Aiken had enough of the grooms taking, I guess, whatever out of this experiment, and has a message for both Shannon and Harrison for that matter. However, Harrison calls it BS.
You're saying I want to fall in love with someone who's going to give up everything to be here, and you're not 100% committed to it.
That's bullshit.
Caitlin, how does it feel for you sitting here now, hearing that he may still be in love with his ex?
I have been in this exact same position before. In my last relationship, it started with me seeing a guy who I fell in love with, and he swore he was finished with his ex, and then he was seeing her behind my back. So it is something that I promised myself I would never go through again, and it is like being slapped with all my traumas at once. It was very hard.
Do you believe that Shannon leave his ex in the past and to be here fully present with you?
I think Shannon really wants to.
I know it seems not convincing on my behalf, but I'm still really grateful with how she's been and how she has been towards me. Like, we're still sleeping in the same bed, you know. I haven't put the best foot forward yet first. I'm so lucky to have her.
Well, look, I've got to call out some behaviour, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Okay, I've heard some things sitting on this couch, but what I'm hearing from you, Shannon, and also you in this, Harrison, we're two guys that have applied for an experiment that over 10,000 people hands up for, and a week before coming in, you're hanging out with an ex. That is unacceptable. Now, if you told us that, I'd tell you what our answer would have been. Not a chance. You're not coming on this experiment because we're only interested in single that are looking for love. It's selfish behaviour. It is disrespectful. It is beyond belief that we're sitting in an experiment where we're matching who are with other women before the experiment starts. You're saying I want to fall in love with someone who's going to give up everything to be here, and you're not 100% committed to it.
That's bullshit. I made that commitment the minute I walked down the aisle.
From where we're sitting, if we had known that you were already seeing people outside of the experiment, you would not be here. And the fact that you did this, Harrison, is a big problem.
And of course, you can see the experts holding their breath, especially after Harrison had to explain himself. John is trying to admonish both the guys, and it is a mess. However, when he bring it back to both Shannon and Caitlin, Caitlin says she owes it to herself to have another go, and they both write stay. And only time is going to tell if these two can turn it around. I will say that if you go over to my TikTok, a lot of information have come out over the whole Bronte Harrison situation, things that she was saying outside of the show the status of the relationship with the girl who is now on Bachelors of Australia, all of that, and how they weren't even in a relationship. They just dated for 2 weeks, that they met on some app or something. So I don't know if the show is making a big deal out of this or what, but go over to my TikTok under Romance Review TV 1 and you can see all of the candid off-screen information. It's 26,000 of us over there, and yeah, I keep you guys updated over there as well. Okay, so let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. What do you think about our first commitment ceremony? The experts, Bronte and Harrison, Caitlin and Shannon. I want to know your thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for all other recaps on this channel. And until the next one, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye.